Back in the living room tonight, Sonny Hill. Not with me, though. What's up? Debate night. And honestly, I don't even want to hear the debate. I just want to see what these two geriatrics look like. The race for the White House. So I will not get into politics here because I don't think anybody wants to hear my politics. But I have zero interest in any of these politics, and I can't believe this is what we're now resorted to as a country. Having these two stooges up there debating to see who's going to be the president. That's all I'm going to say. Delco Steve didn't even know there was a debate tonight. He was very upset with the Phillies. He must have had money on the Phillies game. No? I'm potting this down. Listen to that fade, man. You really have to take the fade on this very seriously. Now, Delco Steve, are you interested in the debate tonight? Do you have it on the TV?
Hell no.
So it's a hell no?
I can't stand politics.
Yeah, no, me neither. I just I almost like I'll have it on without the sound, just to see like the non like I can't believe this is where we are as a country. But anyway, I'll have it up there. I'm sure there'll be some memes or some Twitter videos that I'll watch later on. But
yeah, I'm sure there'll be something entertainment wise that comes out of it. But
yep.
Politics suck.
Yep, which is why I've always stuck with talking sports there. Delco Steve, as the Phils have shit this game away tonight. They were up 6-2 in not 6-2, 4-2 in the seventh inning, and Zach Wheeler should have gotten out of the inning. He didn't. Pastrami comes in, boom. So Strom and Hoffman, who really they had ERAs under 1 before the night started. They both give up runs. Marte has now come in and give up a run as well. So it's 7-4 the Marlins down at Citizens Bank Park. Looks like they're getting a loss tonight unless they can come back here in the bottom of the ninth. As they go to the bottom of the ninth, you have Brandon Marsh, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper.
Should we throw $5 or throw $10 on the Phillies to win?
So what's the live line?
Pulling it up right now.
Let me pull up Bet Parks.
On FanDuel, it is 14.60.
Wow. So if you threw up 10, you'd win
146.
Yeah.
Show bet?
Yeah. All right. I got half. I'll throw up 5.
All right.
Yeah, I'll throw up 5 for sure. Right. I'll split it with you. I mean, who knows? Miami is 28-52 for a reason.
That is a very valid point.
Yeah. So Phil's like, they're kind of just mowing along, winning series and things like that. They win in Detroit, take 2 of 3, and they start the weekend series against the Marlins. The All-Star game. Now, Delco Steve, have you been paying attention to the format and where we're at right now with the All-Stars?
No, I saw that Harper had like some million votes or whatever.
So how it works now is, and did I really just move out of this? How it works now is that it's fan voting, and then as of I guess it's right now, it might have ended at 7:00 or something, but so now it goes to what they call phase 2, which is the top 2 vote getters at each position in each league. So National League and American League, all that stuff's still the same. Now everything resets. So like in the National League, JT Realmuto and William Contreras, they reset it, and now the winner of that voting will be the starter.
But the other guy's in too, or no?
No, well, the other guy, like, I don't think if JT doesn't win with his injury, he's not going to play in the All-Star game. So no, they're not guaranteed to be in. They're just guaranteed to reset here. So you have Bohm and Manny Machado. Bohm was like up 1.5 million votes on Manny Machado. I can't imagine Bohmer doesn't get in. Trey Turner at shortstop with Mookie Betts. Now this is interesting because both players have been hurt, but Mookie Betts is out till after the All-Star break. Trey Turner, just on that alone, and Phillies fans might end up being the starter at shortstop. We mentioned first base before. Bryce Harper had the most votes in the National League, 3,200,000 277,920. Seventh as a starter. So obviously his first as a first baseman this year. But so him and Aaron Judge are the top vote getters for each league. So they both automatically already get in. They don't have to go about the phase 2 part of it. And then that's it. There's 6 outfielders that are in, or at least that's what it was. You go from 6, and then 3 are named starters. DH Kyle Schwarber with 150,000 votes just a couple days ago. I forget he was behind Marcell Ozuna, and he overtook
Ohtani.
Well, now he's going to lose to Ohtani. Yeah. But yeah, so he is. But he does make that second phase. So the outfielders. How about Nick Castellanos and Brandon Marsh are among the 6 that will be considered?
Nice.
Well, not really.
I mean, they're probably not going to win, but it just shows how impressive Phillies fans are.
No, I'm honestly, who knows, man? If Philly fans can literally vote these guys.
Who are the other 4 outfielders?
Hernandez, Jurickson Profar, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Christian Yelich.
Oh, Tatis is hurt too.
Yeah, Tatis hasn't he's been good, but he hasn't been great. Let me see. He has 14 home runs in 36. He's been good.
He was turning it on right before he got hurt too.
Yeah. Well, he certainly
strikeout. Not Stott. Marsh. Yay.
Marshy. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think, I wouldn't be mad if a Philly was in the All-Star game, but it's weird. You look at those outfielders. Where's the great outfielders in the National League? There really aren't.
I was gonna say there aren't many.
Yeah, Profar's had a good year, but he's got a
high average.
He was a big time prospect when he came up.
Yep.
And he never panned out. He kind of
Wasn't
bounced
he hurt
around
a bunch?
little bit. What's that?
Wasn't he hurt a bunch?
Yeah, he with Texas he was there for the longest time with Texas. So he was in San Diego and then Colorado for a year and then San Diego again. I guess I do remember him in San Diego, but his best year before this year.
Come on, Trey.
He's good last year too.
That was close.
But he's batted 218, 227, 243. He's batting 316 with 11 home runs. Plus the Padres fans are selling that place out, so they're voting hardcore. So that's a big part of it too. Same thing with Tatis. So they're really going hardcore
So the starters are going to be Phillies, Dodgers, and Padres, pretty much.
Yeah.
But who's got to be second? Second's got to be between Stott and who?
Stott did not make it.
Oh, really? Who's second between then?
No, it's the dude the dude. I don't have it up in front of me anymore. It was the guy that got traded to the Padres.
Azarena.
Yeah, and who was the other one? It's an obvious one. Oh, no.
And the Phillies lost.
It was Kettle Marte, who's having a good year, certainly with Arizona. He's got 17 home runs. Jeez. So there you go. So this happens. I think this is for like 2 days, and then after that, boom. There you go.
Ooh.
June 30th. It's announced.
Harper's limping.
Oh, great. At least he got named the starter today, so he still is an all-star starter. What did he do? Is he limping because they're going to lose?
No, he was the last out.
So it's over? Gotcha.
He went flying down first base trying to bust one out with the pitcher covering, and I don't see if he stepped weird or what. I just saw him coming off. He's limping.
Oh man!
Straight to the dugout or straight to the locker room.
Well, Phil's lose. We have the all-star thing right there. Is he all right?
If I had to guess, it looks like a hammy, but it looked like the pitcher missed the first. It looked like the pitcher missed the first base, but I don't know.
All right.
It looks like a hammy. Yep, he grabbed his hammy.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Really?
Yep.
So oh man, no.
Have you ever pulled your hamstring?
Yeah, I pulled it right now.
Dude, I used to for fantasy football, but when people would pop up as questionable, probable for hamstring, it was like, just suck it up and play. I pulled mine a few years back playing soccer, and I will never, ever, ever, ever bitch at someone for not playing with.
There's nothing you can do about it.
And it's terrible pain. I've never
Yeah.
would have expected it to be that painful.
Well, I don't honestly know. It's my I need to get to. There's this place up here by me called Stretch Lab, like the art of stretching and things like that.
Yeah.
When I went to I had a frozen shoulder, and I like waited and waited and waited for it to get better, and it just never did. So I finally went to the orthopedic and went to physical therapy, and I really like. I'm the least flexible person.
Right there with you.
Oh man, and just the stretching of it and how quickly I was able to get more flexible, and it just felt good, right? So like my legs, I did something when I mowed the lawn. The first time I mowed the lawn with the push mower this year, I pulled my calf or like something behind my knee, and it still hurts. It still gives. The only major muscle that I've ever pulled, and like I pulled back muscles, which are a whole different thing in itself, which are terrible. But I pulled my quad. I was probably like, I don't know, I probably was 30-ish, right around 30. And my buddy was like, hey, you want to be in a flag football league down in Fairmount Park? So I'm like, hell yeah, let's go do it. And I was in pretty good shape at the time. So these guys were competitive and whatever. First game, I pulled my quad and was like, not that I couldn't play for the rest of the year. I was 60% maybe. There's only so much you can go. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go, but you can only go a certain amount. And I was probably like 60%. So not that I'm not an explosive person, but there was nothing I could really do. It sucked.
Yeah, if you think I wasn't explosive at 100%, wait to see how explosive I am at 60.
Yeah, it hurt too, but like the hammy, you feel like you get shot when you pull a hamstring. It's like da 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 da. So, oh well, great.
No, it's brutal. Yeah, he definitely just pulled his hamstring.
Well, that's not good news. All right, well let's hope, because when Marsh pulled his hamstring, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like Trey Turner, and then he only missed a couple weeks or like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So hopefully this.
What did Trey ended up missing? A month or 2 months?
Longer than that, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird because he really, and they knew it right away. They knew it was more serious, but well, let's hope it's of the non-serious variety, Delco Steve. That would make me feel better.
Yeah.
All right, did you watch any of the NBA draft last night? Or I'm sure you saw some of the coverage.
I followed on my phone. I didn't the fact that it wasn't that entertaining of a draft class, I was like,
dude,
I'm gonna listen to them talk about nonsense for a couple hours. Now I'm good.
I have friends that are big sports fans like you and me, and they tried to watch it last night, and they were not even to go watch something else that was good, to watch anything but the draft, literally. And then, because you're right, you go on your phone, you wait to see what the 76ers are doing, you maybe go and that's what I did. I tapped out, I left, I was checking back, and then so I saw the pick.
You didn't even have to watch the draft for the Sixers pick, because every mock that I saw had them drafting, McCain?
Yes, it was the Jared McCain. It was and it's like I was reading the trade grades and what people were saying about it, and everybody pretty much said the same thing. Yeah, this was pretty well known that the Sixers were interested, and if he fell to them, they were going to draft him, and he did. They did, and I mean,
yeah, he's an open shooter, so it's exactly what they needed.
Seems like it's a really solid pick. Somebody that can, I've seen, but he's not going to be able to play with Maxey because he doesn't have great size. You may not be able to play them together for 40 minutes a night, but that doesn't mean that they can't be, something special.
If he's knocking down shots, he can be on the court.
Hey man, listen, I don't watch a ton of college basketball anymore, but I watched enough to have seen games where McCain, where he was good, where he had good games. He had a 35-point game that I remember. I don't even know why I would be watching it, but I just remember it being like, man, he's really good. But then, he wasn't this prolific scorer. But so overall, they took a center in the second, like a 6'8" center in the second round. I don't even have it up with me right now.
He's only 6'8".
Yeah, I think that was his height.
What?
And he's not a shooter. Now I got to pull it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, he's from like a Pac-12 school or Baylor or something out. It might have been UCLA.
UCLA. It was UCLA.
Yeah. He was kind of a disappointment. Supposedly like a freak athlete.
Adam with an E instead of an A, or second A. Adem Bona. Bona.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't spell it like that. Gotta spell it the normal way. Yes. Yeah, it makes him look foreign, doesn't it? When you put the Adem. If you look at his picture, he doesn't look like his name's spelled. I'm suspecting like
he's 6'10".
Well, I'm looking at 6'8",
Oh,
but the wingspan 7'4". All right, here's the pre-draft analysis. Bona has some of the best physical tools in this draft with outstanding mobility, explosiveness, and a 7'4" wingspan. His nonstop intensity, physicality, and ability to cover ground seamlessly give him a clear role at the NBA level if he can improve his discipline on both ends. I'm in, man. You need to fill out a rotation. Championship teams have guys that it doesn't matter if they're capable of scoring 20 points. You don't need everybody being able to score. A guy that can give you 14, 16, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and be your defensive glue, even as a young player, they need more of these guys. So I
think a negative player.
Yeah. And like Paul Reed, like just this right here, nonstop intensity. And I'm not telling you Paul Reed doesn't belong in the NBA, but who's intense on the Sixers? Seriously. Like, who's an intense defender? Who do you feel like that if you need a stop that you can bring a guy in? Maxi's limited in size, and Bede's just too damn big. And then who? Like seriously, who do you have? So you need to add players like this. So I like this. I like this, Daryl Morey.
Well, considering there's only 4 guys on the roster right now.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually a really good point. You need to add some of these, especially for the future, too. So, Bronny goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, shocker.
So did you see the what was it? Oh, that the Lakers. So Rich Paul, and this was according to some reports that were out there. Rich Paul was telling teams, if you draft him, he's going to go play in Australia.
I did see that.
So LeBron bullied his way to having his son to play with his son, and Rich Paul made sure he went out there and like I honestly
made sure he got drafted.
Right, till he got drafted by the Lakers, which is like, I mean, I don't know, man.
Shouldn't even been drafted.
I don't see. I've heard a lot of analysts say he's a second round / undrafted free agent. He's right in that. People think he's a possible rotational player in the NBA just because of his defense. If he can improve his shooting, he's not even 6'3".
I was gonna say he's barely 6'2". Yeah, I don't even think he's 6'2".
Yeah,
but he's listed at 6'4" though.
So he's not even what I read today was that he's not even 6'3" with sneakers, or he's 6'3" with sneakers, which means he's probably like 6'1.5". I forgot his exact measurement. But
yeah, I read just under 6'2".
But he's also not like offensively, he's not a great ball handler. He's not like Maxey, where Maxey maybe not have like Maxey's size is good, but somebody that's a little bit undersized.
Electric.
Yeah, he doesn't have a handle on the ball. So he was a good shooter. He did very well at the combine with his 3-point shot. Like, I think he can develop, but he's not, he's probably G League in it. And he needs to play. He averaged 4 points last year a game.
He didn't even start.
I know. Well, he was coming off the Hart thing. It was a tough.
Right.
It was a tough year for him.
I'm not saying it for that. I don't understand why he didn't go back for one more year.
I guess
actually
play with LeBron. Well, I mean, all right. So if he plays in the G League, and I agree with you, but if he plays in the G League, then he's playing against other professionals. I mean, I feel like not like you're not getting paid anymore. Right, so him being in college, he's still making a lot of money being LeBron's son in college.
Don't you think he could have made more in college though?
Yes, I do.
For USC,
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Like get a development year and actually not have like all the setbacks and actually play games.
Is it because they thought that he would be exposed even more in college? It's one thing if he goes to the pros and he's not ready for the pros and he plays in the G League. It's another thing if he comes back at USC and he's averaging 5 points a game.
Yeah.
Then I think people look at him and say, well, he's not an NBA player. Like right now, I think people know he's not, but it would have just been 1 year coming off the Hart thing. Anyway, like I'm not one of these guys that's rooting against him or was against him or LeBron during this whole thing. I want him to succeed. I want him to be good, but I didn't like the fact that Rich Paul was bullying everybody
I was
by
about to say,
saying,
I think it's BS that he has that much influence on the league with his players that he's like, all right, well, if you're gonna take him, pretty much I'm gonna be like, none of my guys are going to you.
yeah, fuck Rich
Like,
Paul.
that's so bullshit.
I know.
Like agents shouldn't have that kind of influence in
Oh,
the
they
league. Like,
do.
and in any league though, like it shouldn't
They
be
do.
like that. It should. It's like, come on.
Do you know who? Do you know who? Oh, what's his name? Hold on a second. No, yeah, Bob Lamont. You know who Bob Lamont is?
No.
Is it Bob Lamont? Let me see. Yeah, Bob Lamont. So Bob Lamont is. I would love to see a client list of him. He pretty much is the agent for. I don't want to say every head coach, but most head coaches and GMs and offensive coordinators and assistant. Andy Reid has been the kingmaker for years. And Bob Lamont has been longtime Andy Reid agent. So these guys, it's why it's all about, like, if you lose your job here, there's another job for you somewhere else, right? If there's a GM, you lose your job, then there's an assistant GM for you here because he represents all these guys. He leans on these teams all the time, and like the agents do it, and so do the agents do it to the like the Wojs and those guys. This is the dirtiest business ever. Did you know how corrupt Woj probably is? With what information he puts out there or what information he holds back, like Schefter. This isn't great reporting. This is just relationships because they're the guys at the major networks. And it's a machine. And I'm not, I don't, not that I don't give him credit for it, but like Adam Schefter's not a great reporter. Right. Yeah, he's a king.
He's connected.
Yes, he's connected. Yeah, exactly. And good for him. You can knock yourself out. But yeah, like these agents have so much power. Delco Steve.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm more saying it in the, like, I understand the, like, moving pieces around like that and that influence, but to be like, to hold teams hostage kind of thing.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
For other thing, like for something that's unrelated, is bullshit to me.
Well, they were, and I know Rich Paul. What did Rich Paul do with Maxey? Remember Maxey was mad. What was that? There's somebody out in chat that probably knows it. Rich Paul. Something happened.
I don't remember.
It's going to be too hard to find right now. But, oh, here it is. There's a high chance that Tyrese Maxey will be a part of any Ben Simmons trade. Rich Paul would like both clients. So this dude, Jason Dumas, who is kind of an NBA insider, he's local, but he's a local dude that's out in San Francisco. He had some kind of person inside of Rich Paul to where he had all of a sudden these big scoops. And it was all relating to what was going on with Ben Simmons. And it was pretty clear to me that someone was feeding him information, whether it was true or not. So he has this 3 years ago. There's a high chance that Tyrese Maxey would be a part of any Ben Simmons trade. Rich Paul would like both of his clients out of Philadelphia. So something happened with Ben Simmons, and I think Rich Paul was like, yeah, and Tyrese Maxey's gone too.
Yeah, so it's like, you screwed up with Ben. We're pissed off about Ben, so now we're going to be pissed off about Maxey too.
Right.
Like that's the shit I don't like.
Yep.
Like that, like, come, like, okay, fine. You have Ben has a problem with Philly. It's unrelated to Maxey. Why do you? Because you represent both of them. You have to lump them both in. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
And I think Maxey freaked out on him because he very quickly took that back or walked that back. It came out that Maxey does not want out of Philly because Maxey's like, what do you mean I want out of Philly? But Ben gone, I'm the guy. It's me and Joel. Why? Right. Like, why wouldn't he be happy with that?
That makes no sense. Well, and Rich Paul isn't even an actual agent, which is the crazy part about it.
Nope. Rich Paul. All right. What else did I?
Must be nice to have friends.
So just we'll end with like this on the 76ers because I hate feeling like a total dick whenever I talk about the Sixers, but outside of winning some regular season games and maybe winning a series next year. And I know they have free agency and they're like, oh, they can get Paul George. They can get Zach LaVine. They can do this. They can do that. It is not changing this team. This team is not going to an NBA Finals. I mean, honestly, I would say making an Eastern Conference Finals would be a huge accomplishment for this team at this point. Boston's far above and beyond this team. Now, coming off a championship, who knows what happens with them. But there's so much
Olympics.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a long summer for a lot of them guys.
So maybe they have a slow start. Sixers would
Porzingis
be
is out
fortunate
5 to 6 months too.
because of surgery, right? So, but still, like the Celtics are, and then the Knicks make another trade, and they bring Bridges. So the
Villanova Knicks.
Villanova Knicks get even more Villanova Knicks, and this just in, Delco Steve. I'm not telling you they're a championship team, but they were the team that probably could have given the Celtics the biggest outside of Denver, the biggest series.
Yep.
They're a good team. They are a gritty team. They may not have been skilled enough, but this year, and if you get Randall back as a sixth man, I mean, they have a ton of talent on that team. Leon Rose knows what the hell he did. They don't want Embiid now. Never all the talk was, they're lining up to get Embiid. They're not trying to get Embiid.
Nope.
They're happy with what they have right now. This is a really good team, so that sucks.
Randall probably actually might net them something. They're talking about potentially moving him, so he can net them something else too.
They could trade him. They could get him to embrace, hey, be the sixth guy coming off the bench. You'll get starter minutes. Go out there, be a defensive force. If I was a Knicks fan, I'd be really, really excited. That's a good team. And so that's what I'm saying. And I look at the 76ers, and I see a lot of these comments on social media where it'll be like, what are you talking about? We have Tyrese Maxey and we have the MVP. But that doesn't matter. Your team is not better than the Knicks. Your team is not better than the Celtics. The Bucks, unfortunately, the Sixers are kind of stuck in having some top level talent, but still being a team that can't get out of the second round. The Sixers haven't gotten out of the second round of the playoffs. Can we remember that? So I just don't know what they do in the offseason, Steve, to where I feel like, you know what, this could be our year. This could be the year. I'm feeling great. They added this. They haven't done anything to make me believe that that's the case. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. I mean, free agency starts the first, so that's when things should start moving, and we'll see. But it's like, what player is available that you actually would say you put on this team that makes them intriguing option? Like Brandon Ingram. I like Brandon Ingram as a player, but is him as a third option? Are you a championship caliber team? Probably not.
Right. No, you're right. I don't even think you need a guy that's putting up 25 points. I would almost rather have two players that are almost like the Knicks model of things, right? Like the Knicks have Brunson. Obviously, has developed into an amazing player, but these other guys, Josh Hart's is he a reliable scorer every night? I mean, he's going to score 18. What did he average this year? Like 18 points, something like that.
I doubt he even average that high.
But when you need him, he hits shots and he's tough. Yeah, let me look up his numbers, man. Because he is, and I hate it. What am I talking about? He averaged 9.4 points a game. But if you look at his
almost averaged a double though.
right, exactly. So all these pieces fit for the Knicks, and then you have the Sixers, and it's Maxey and Embiid, and then who else is on the roster? They're not even really sure yet.
Well, it sounded like they were trying to go after OG, and then he resigned with the Knicks. Yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't think that was good. I didn't think the Knicks were going to let him leave. Yeah, I don't even know if you need.
If you got a player like him, and then another player of his level,
right.
then that's an interesting a more interesting starting five than a big three, and then filled in with.
And then you have guys that aren't starters. Yeah, totally. Oh. Jeez.
Do you think it's crazy these contracts these guys are getting? Did you see Scotty Barnes?
I actually did, and I thought the exact same thing, which was
Florida State boy, love him, but $54 million a year potentially.
That's what they make.
That's insane.
It's either that or you let him walk.
But is he even a top 20 player, 25 player?
So here's where it makes sense for Toronto is you could just trade him, and get other pieces. You might get, then it's all maneuvering, right? Like you make your run, like what you're seeing with the Nets right now. The Nets, they traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Remember when the Russian bought the Nets and he went out and he told Billy King actually, and he was like, win me a championship. So they traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. And they were good for 1 year. And then they were just totally cooked. And then they were done. They traded all their top picks to the Celtics. That's how the Celtics built this team, to win championships. But so the Nets they went for it with Durant and Harden and Kyrie. That didn't happen. So they quickly pivoted. They're just going to trade everything and suck. And yeah, it's, Ben, you want Ben back? I saw that being bandied about out there.
No. I don't care if he wants his redemption story back here. No, I do not want him back.
No. Well, he's not gonna. If I thought he could actually come back and play a role and be a part of a winner, but he's never gonna play again.
Right. Yeah.
He's never gonna play reliably again.
I agree with that. He never developed into anything. It's just like what.
But people forget how he was a really good player for a couple years.
He was the next LeBron.
Well, not even that. Like I'm
talking like LeBron Jr. Like all around player, could do everything.
He was an all-star player.
Yep.
He was an all-star player. He was defensively was excellent. He was great in transition. People forget he didn't always used to be afraid to shoot the ball. That all started when they did the hack a Ben. His career was over with the hack a Ben. He's scared to death. This is so mental. The whole thing's mental. When people went crazy when he wouldn't play because of mental things, and like, do we really believe that he's not like this isn't a mental thing? I know it's a physical thing now with the back and some other things. He's spooked. He's seeing ghosts out there. He doesn't want to shoot it. I'm trying to see how many. Earlier in his career, he was somewhat aggressive. He wasn't shooting threes, but he wasn't scared of the ball in his hands. Now he doesn't even want to have the ball in his hands. So he's not recovering from that. He's done.
I have nightmares about him underneath the basket passing up that ball in the Hawks game.
Dude, Dude,
you're 6'10". You're 6'10". But he could drive to the hole every time down the floor if he wanted to. That's
but if they foul, he'll only get fouled.
Yep.
He was.
How do you not just get so good at that one thing?
It's in his head, man. He never had to. I don't know how. If anything, it's one of the Embiid is such a great foul shooter, and it's huge for him to be able to shoot 18 foul shots and make 16 or 17 of them. Paul Pierce, I hate Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was as crafty a scorer as you're going to see, because even at the end of his career, where the athleticism had waned, he's just he'd pump fake you and then lean into you to get the foul. He's shooting 15, 16 foul shots and making almost all of them all the time. So you need players like that. Yeah, Ben could have been that guy, but he just
Ben's career is completely different if he could just hit free throws.
No, he's still playing. No, he is done. But anyway, all right.
So is he a free agent?
He I think he has 2 big years left, 2 big contract years. Let me see, because I mean it'll be an attractive. So he's signed. No, he's a free agent after this season. This is the final year of his contract. He's on the books for 40 million.
Got to be nice.
So that a team can trade for him and clear off the space. So the Nets are going to try to get draft picks for that. A team's going to be like, hey, we'll give you these expiring contracts and we'll give you a first-round draft pick for Ben Simmons. And they'll be like, yep, we'll take it. So
does he play 25 games this year?
I don't know. I can't see that. I can see 12 or 10 or 10, something like that.
But 6, my back hurts, out for half the season, comes back.
Man. I mean, he had back surgery and stuff, so I don't know how he wouldn't have actually been hurt. But it's just the whole thing is.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not actually hurt. I'm just, the little things just pile up for him, and it's just like now it's a major injury.
Yep. And believe me, it seemed like the Nets were fine with him taking off the rest of the season. At that point, why wouldn't they be? All right, let me ask you a random question here. Maybe the peanut gallery can check in. Now, what's going on out here with the peanut gallery? I saw something here earlier. The debate show today on WIP, because the debate's going on right now. So WIP had a debate show where different hosts debated each other. I think it's a great idea. I didn't hear it, Gary, to answer your question, but I think it's a good idea, especially this time of year. You could be like, no, Jalen Hurts is going to be good this year, and then he's going to suck, and then OG Wade calls in, and then or you could do something fun like this. So yeah, it's a good idea. It's a WIP thing for sure.
I hate debates.
Well, listen. I didn't tell you that I watched that I listened
Watched
to.
or listened.
So I'll say this: I'd rather do that than do the Jalen Hurts sucks or he isn't sucks show. I would have liked to be I would have liked to have been a part of the station doing one of the debates and doing the show today. It would have been fun. That's the only way I look.
Who would you have wanted to debate?
The camera.
Can I beat you in a boxing match?
Right. I just wanted to fight him. No, I didn't want to debate anybody. It's a good question. Giglio, like, because I worked a lot with Giglio. He was one of the top fill-ins when Ike was out. Elliott, for sure, but it wouldn't be a novelty if I debated with Elliott because I did that every week. John Ritchie might be fun because he used to get. John Ritchie's awesome.
I love John Ritchie.
So I was doing it. It was half of a troll job, but it like where our studios were was looking down at the Schuylkill, and then across from the river is 676, and it's like right at, or not 676, 76, and then you're kind of right at 30th Street. So it's like going under, and someone had spray painted a sign that said "Fire Howie." They spray painted it in orange and hung it like off of the highway in between like where the bridge is from the water and the highway, so we would see it in direct view of where our studio windows were. And one day I'm on the air and I'm saying, and I look over and I go, it's a sign that says "Fire Howie" over there. And then so I was the first one to discover it, and then Angelo saw it and it became this thing. And after they went to the playoffs, I guess the first year that they came back and went to the playoffs, after they made the playoffs, before they lost to Tampa Bay, our show had a Howie Roseman appreciation day because people were still hated Howie Roseman at that point. And John Ritchie was so mad that I was doing it. He literally called in on the hotline. It was like, the fuck is he doing? Like, is he serious? And Jack was like, yeah, he's serious. And he's like, oh, but Jack's like, go on the air. And he's like, like John, I don't know if he's faking it now, but John does not like Howie Roseman. It doesn't seem like. So, yeah. So I would love to debate John. John Ritchie would be fun.
Would that be your topic of choice?
No, I already won that. They went to fucking Super Bowl. Like, look at the team.
I still hate Howie. I don't care that he keeps.
So you're a Howie hater, even though they're good.
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
So here's how it goes: when the Eagles are good, you kind of don't say anything, and you begrudgingly give them credit. And then
I give them credit, but I still hate them.
But the minute it goes south, you're ready to pounce.
Oh hell yeah! I cannot wait for that day.
Yep, we'll be here again.
I stand by that he's only good because Jeffrey Lurie gives him like reign over money to do whatever he wants. That's it. If he was the Chargers GM, you would never know his name. I would guarantee that.
Yep, agreed.
And that's it. And that's all and that's my only argument, and that's what I'm gonna stand on. Everything else I have to eat crow on. So
that's a great way to put it. It really is. It's a great way to put it. So when you look, here's how I'll counter that. And was this last time we were talking? And I didn't go back to it because it was already too late. But one of our regulars was taking shots at Howie, and it's when you look at the GMs in the division. All right, Washington has a new GM, but what does their front office look like? Look at the Giants. Look at the Cowboys. Cowboys have more talent than anybody. And Jerry Jones manages to fuck that up because he plays these games where he won't pay people up front to have it. So now it's like, oh, I can't add to the team. Yeah, you can, you loser. So like just go to every team in every division and look at their general manager and say, is Howie Roseman, like, whether or not it's true, and like he can't with the talent, he's not great at drafting or blah 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 blah, but like this is a well-run team, and they flame out. They flame out, but he knows what he's doing.
He's got plenty of people around him that know what they're talking about, and that's what qualifies him as a good GM. If he didn't have the great people around him, he would not be what he is.
Yeah, but that's part of it, right?
That's me giving him credit. Like, he's gotten the right people. Jeffrey Lurie's found the right people. Like, they have found the right people to put around him to help him be good. But, like, my thing is, like, I'd rather have a guy that's just good on his own,
Like who? All right, like who?
I don't know GMs off the top of my head.
Right,
The
that's
Steelers,
what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. You may be able to name better GMs. I'm not saying he's the best GM. You may be able to name better GMs. I think each coach and each GM and each organization, they have positives, they have negatives, they have pros, they have cons. Like the Steelers draft and develop very well. Their offensive
I was going to say the
never
Steelers could freaking pick up a receiver in the 7th round. I'd be like, that guy's going to pop next year.
The exact opposite of the Eagles. Eagles, at least they struggle drafting wide receivers, and they drafted very well on the offensive line. The Steelers haven't had great offensive lines traditionally, but they know what they're doing on defense, especially when it comes to drafting those rush linebackers, safeties, defensive backs, players like that. They seem to do really well with. Offensive line, no. They normally can just find a running back and they're good. They totally whiffed on Najee Harris. He stinks.
Ravens have a good front office.
Ravens, I think. I mean,
Ozzie, what's his name?
Ozzie Newsome hasn't been there for.
No, I know, but I'm saying he set that up with he had
blueprint.
that all set, and then he just passed it on to the next guy, and the next guy was like, all right, we're just going to keep rolling with this.
Yep. And that's great ownership too, because you have to continue to hire people that aren't going to fuck that up. And the Ravens absolutely have to be looked at. The Vikings, Packers, Bears, Lions have done a good job building this team. You just kind of look.
Packers are potentially looking very nice with since the moving on from Aaron Rodgers and all that.
The structure
got a lot of young talent.
The structure is very difficult to try to compare to any other NFL franchise. It's just tough. But San Francisco's obviously done a great job.
Leach is a great GM. And then what's his name Veach in Kansas City?
Brett Veach in Kansas City, and Lynch. Bills no, Dolphins no, Jets no, Patriots no, Browns, Steelers no, Bengals no. No, like you look at it and it's like Howie's one of the top GMs in the league, and you just gotta embrace it. Embrace it. Don't begrudge about it.
I keep my mouth shut 90% of the time when it comes to my dislike of Howie Roseman.
So I think it was Turtle Power who says it right here. He's a contacts guy. Period. His talent is taking other people's talent. Like,
he's Kirby from Pokemon or from Mario.
So here's
Mr. Power.
Here's what I'll say. You're not totally wrong about all that. But like this whole thing with, he's great with contracts. He's not doing anything that anybody else in the league couldn't do.
That's my issue.
Everybody can do this. He doesn't.
You have to have an owner that lets you do it. That's the thing.
So when Joe Banner first started doing this in the NFL, he was the first real cap person that was like, wow, you could just manipulate this cap and it doesn't mean anything. But the Eagles front office were ahead of their time in signing their own draft picks to contracts before they really started the modern front office. But, I'm not taking anything away from Howie because I think he does a great job with a lot of things, but he's not. It's like, Howie Roseman, what is he doing? All he's doing is putting contract numbers for certain years that are bullshit, and then you just rip it up and give him a roster bonus, and it never matters. It's it's a joke. But he said the contacts. Remember how he got rid of Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso? It was the idiot down in Miami, Tannenbaum, Mike Tannenbaum. Him and Howie were boys. So he made the trade because Howie's like, come on, just take these guys. They'll be good. They'll start for you, which they did. And we got rid of terrible contracts. So, yeah.
Yep.
Hassan Reddick, he absolutely saw where it was going.
Yeah, but that also isn't like anything either. It's
Joe Douglas didn't.
Yeah, well, they're going to get they didn't lose anything either because they're going to get this is the way that trade's a wash regardless. So if he left after this season, we get a compensatory pick the following year. So now we get a 3rd round pick this year for Hassan Reddick, where if he leaves the Jets get a compensatory third round pick. It's a wash. The trade's a wash.
Yeah, but you get something rather than
you get
a second round pick. You're not paying him.
If he pops this year, you get a second round pick.
Right, which I mean, I don't know. Like, you'd be surprised based on so far. I mean, who knows what the hell's going to happen with him?
Well, he hasn't even shown up.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not. He's good. He's going to show up. Hassan. I can tell you this: Hassan's not giving up game checks. He might be willing to pay the fines for missing stuff, but he's not giving up game checks. When he's got a report, I'd be friggin' shocked. Although the players have done it recently, which is crazy to think, but you still have to admit that I still have to say it was a good move to move on from, because Hassan Reddick's been their best defensive player the last couple of years.
I'm not saying it's not a good move to move on from him and get the pick this year and whatever, but in a year or two down the line, the trade's a wash. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat this year?
Yeah.
Delco Steve.
100%.
How hot is the seat?
If they start 0-3, it's 90%.
So Cody Benjamin, CBS Sports, has the head coaches on the hot seat, and he's got the top 8. Who would you say is number 1 on the hot seat as we enter the season, Delco Steve? AFC. Total dummy.
AFC
said that Aaron Rodgers is
Salah.
unexcused absences.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so that's 1. 2, Brian Daboll.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
I guess Giants ownership, they were pretty mad at him after last year. That got bad. Dennis Allen, 3 from the Saints. Matt Eberflus, 4 Bears.
I was gonna say Eberflus is my guess, but I was like, they got the first overall pick. That might, but it wasn't their pick, so I don't know.
Right, but no one expects them to win the Super Bowl. If they win
but
7 or 8 games, it'll be progress, good. Right?
I don't. A lot of people are saying them to be a playoff team, so if they're not like on the cusp of it.
But if they win 8 games this year and they're competitive and they show, like, wow, we got something here, he'll keep the job.
I think they need to be like teetering on 500 throughout the year. Like they can't start 0-6 and then bounce back, and like he's not surviving 0-6. But then if they say they start 6-0 and they end up
and
at
they
8
fall
and 9,
apart, no, he's gone.
Yeah, he's got to be like
matter.
win 1, loss 1, win 1, loss 1.
Details matter for sure. Like, well, not like the Texans, because they actually, but if the Texans would have just kind of fallen apart at the end, that to me that would have been like, no, this is a good team. Like they got something because it's there. So I mean,
and no one even expected them to be what they were.
Not like that.
People are expecting the Bears to compete this year.
Dude, Nico Collins got paid like $100 million guaranteed, man. It's like crazy what happens in a year. Mike McCarthy 5.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so the who was it that said this? It was a reporter or like a former coach or something, but said that Mike McCarthy is already annoyed by Jerry Jones. Let me see, Mike.
Well, wasn't there reports that they were consider if the Patriots let Belichick go, that they were going to fire McCarthy and hire Belichick? Wasn't that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't have surprised me. That may happen this year. Eagles could also get him too.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, so no, Mike McCarthy's fed up with Jerry Jones and the way he undermines his coaches.
Mike McCarthy should shut up. He's a moron.
An ex-Cowboys personnel said he's doing the best he can. Some of the people I've talked to had said he's getting fed up with it a little bit. According to
he's one of the
ex-Cowboy.
He's got to be one of the worst coaches to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, I guess in that lower tier, and they have won 12 games the last couple of years. I'm not telling you I think he's a good coach. But
I think Kellen Moore, if Kellen Moore was the head coach, they're winning the same amount of games.
He can't get a job. I don't know. But I mean, to your point, I wouldn't want him as my head coach.
Oh, I'd be so sad if he was our hire all like years ago when he was available.
All right, that's final final year of his contract too, so they're lame duck status right there. All right, number 6 is where Nick Sirianni checks in. So I think also with this, aren't you also looking at the expectations to where Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat, but if you think they're gonna be 11 or 12, you don't look at it as hot. To your point, if all these teams, if the Eagles were to start 1-3, Nick's like, I already know what it's going to be like in this town, bro. I already know.
Because they never won at the end of the regular season, right? They never got off this schneid with their losing streak. So what did we got? We're coming into the season on a 7-game losing streak from last year. If you lose the first, you get embarrassed in Brazil on national TV, the first Friday game open the season, whatever, and then you come back and you lose on Monday night to the Falcons.
I don't even think you need that for people to call them to be fired. If they lose that first game and they look bad, I'm just look out.
Yep,
you're not gonna need a second week. Look out.
I'm saying it's set up for with a gasoline fire if you have a terrible start. You have 2 primetime games to start the season where the whole country is going to be watching you.
No, so they lost. So let me see. They didn't lose 7 straight. I don't want 2024. I wanted the previous season. Said they lost 2 straight. And I'm guessing that was also the playoff game. I don't know, man.
Did they beat the Giants in there at the end?
They must have. Well, who cares? You
get the point.
He's on a hot seat from the start, and they better win.
Yeah, if they start off 5-0, 6-0, it's cooled off substantially.
All right, so if they start off, would you be surprised if they started off with a losing record in the first 5 games? Would you be shocked if they started off with a losing record in the first 5 games?
It's what?
Packers
Falcons.
Home, Brazil, Falcons home, at the Saints, at the Bucks, home against the Browns.
Well, okay, so
if they're under 500 after 5 games, look the hell out, Delco Steve.
I'm just saying they're the 2 wins to Saints and Saints and Panthers?
Packers.
Sorry, Saints and Bucks.
Home against the Falcons. You're not losing that game. At the Saints, they never play well down there. At the Bucks, that's probably a tougher game. Then if they're not right, they could potentially lose both of those games. If they're not right. If there's something still off about this team, they're in trouble. And they're 2 tougher games than you realize. As it stands, and I kind of throw the Packers out of it and just look at the other games. Falcons is a win. They could lose one of the next 2 and then home against the Browns. You better win that one. Right?
Dude, I don't know. I think we said this from the jump that I thought the Bears and Packers game, or not the Browns and Packers games were losses on their schedule when we didn't know where they were. And now that we see where they are, it's like, okay, it's a little better. But it's still I don't know. You say you lose to the Packers, you come in, you beat the Falcons, you lose to the Saints. You're 1-2. 1-2 going into the Bucks, where we
always lose in Tampa. Is that a must win or a can't lose? That Bucks game, if you're 1-2,
you can't lose it. You definitely can't lose. And then you're going into win. 2-2 against the Browns, and the Browns are probably going to be a better team than most people think this year.
Oh man,
that defense is legit, and the Deshaun Watson back healthy. They got Judy and Cooper. Chubb might be back by that point.
Yeah, but it's this is the fatalistic Eagle fan in you, because you're doing it to me, and I'm agreeing with you, and I'm like, no, stop it. Let's look at big picture. You have to look at the big picture. Do you believe this team rebounds this year?
They have all the talent in the world. If they don't, it's pathetic.
Well, if they don't, it's because they hate the coach. And I think that was part of it last year with Sirianni. I think he's a dummy.
Well, he might be. He might be. He might be.
Yeah, it's possible.
We'll see. What does we say about first impressions? Think about our first impression of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, but he rebounded from that.
Oh, 100%. But what if what if that was the real thing? Was that first?
Well, that was the real thing, for sure. As long as they keep winning, Listen, he's
if they lose to the Saints in week 3, that's just gonna send me. Because Allen might be the worst coach in the league right now.
Yeah,
and
he's
Derek
number 3 on
Carr's,
that list.
Oh, it's such an overrated quarterback.
Yep. Oh, I hate him, Derek Carr. He is the biggest stat compiler of any quarterback in the league in the last 5 years. Phillip Rivers was a winning quarterback that was a stat compiler, but he still was like at
least won games.
This guy stinks.
No,
Never won a playoff game.
I was done with him I was always like, all right, whatever. He's just an average quarterback. I was officially done with him last year when he's screaming at Olave for not running the right route as he still tried to hit him and threw it 15 yards out of bounds. And he's like pointing like downfield. I'm like, dude, like you didn't even give him a chance to throw it. Like even if he ran the wrong route, like you didn't give him a chance to catch the ball. You threw it in the first row. Like shut them. Oh.
Yeah, he stinks.
Yeah, no, he's got the most like pissed off. Like I want to punch in the face.
His teammates don't like him.
Oh, definitely not.
The guys that played with him for a while, they don't. Right?
Except for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but they didn't play with each other. They were just friends.
Yeah, they did. They played 1 year together.
No, I know, but like he wanted him to cut. He was like, "Oh, I want to play with him. I'll play with him." Like, all right, well, you played with him for a year.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. They actually like each other. That's
if he would have played 2 more years with him, he wouldn't have liked him anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right.
My point. Stinks.
You're probably right.
All right. Well, there you go. So Delco Steve already down to 8-9 now on the season for the Eagles.
I think I was at 10. I think I was at 10-7 originally. I don't know.
Couple more things here. Did you see that the NFL got, not only did they get sued, but the jury awarded $4.7 billion in damages?
Yep. I was just reading that story earlier.
So long story short, for a while, you could only get the Sunday ticket through DirecTV. And based on where we live, Delco Steve, I knew very few people that had DirecTV. Yeah. Why would you have DirecTV? You couldn't get Comcast Sportsnet, so you couldn't have the games, right? But it was the only way for you to get satellite. It was the only way for you to get the ticket. So if you wanted to watch all the games, or the people that I knew that had it were from out of town and they wanted to watch the Steelers or the Giants or whoever.
Their teams.
Their team, right. So they paid the money, which was I forget what it was. It was a lot. And because I would ask him like, oh, this is so great, blah, 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 blah. And he was just like, no, like it sucks. Like he'd rather watch Red Zone than watch that for whatever. So anyway, they don't have it anymore. But so this whole antitrust thing where it was decided, they got sued, that the NFL was more or less gouging the consumer for this thing for that many years. So it covers 2.4 million subscribers from a long period of time.
It was 99 to 2012, I believe, or 2022.
Yep. Yeah, so the lawsuit claimed the league broke antitrust laws by selling its package of Sunday games at an inflated price. The subscribers also say the league restricted competition by offering the Sunday ticket only on a satellite provider. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, man. Like, were they really gouging the? Because you could just go to a bar or something. I know, like businesses sued them too, and I'm not even sticking up for the NFL, but
it was 48,000 businesses were part of this, or something like that.
Yeah, like all right, they charge a lot of money for their games. Like, you really, but now the government cares about prices and whatever. But yeah, because they sued them. So check this out. If this ends up happening, because with punitive damages, I forget what it was, but like you can get it up to $14 billion because you can do triple of what the award is. If that ends up happening, which I think it really could, each of the teams, Jeffrey Lurie would be on the hook for $449.6 million. Each team would have to pay almost $500 million in this lawsuit.
That's probably not even a dent.
Well, believe me, that's a dent. Well, because so like a lot of these guys just they're not liquid for that. I think Mark Davis of the Raiders has $449 billion or million somewhere. He's struggling he's paying his payroll, just barely making it. So,
they get a shit ton of money in all those TV contracts.
I know they're rich.
Yeah,
they're rich.
I don't feel too bad for them.
All right,
but it's going to get appealed, and it's going to go to the Supreme Court probably eventually on the next appeal. And they have friends somewhere that'll be like, nah, you're good.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't know. So now people that were smart enough to be a part of the lawsuit, they're gonna get it. Like they'll get a couple thousands of dollars each, depending.
Yeah, yeah, are they even going to get enough to cover all the money they spent for 20 years of Sunday ticket?
Yeah, I don't. I didn't see exactly what they would if they would recoup all their money, but
Yeah, I didn't get a number either.
like whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I'm
All
not.
right,
I'm
so
not included, so I don't care.
yeah, I'd never. I mean, Red Zone. Red Zone's $5 a month or something like that to have that tier. So that's all I need, right there. All right. So last thing here. How long? I was thinking about this as I sat. My youngest is sick, and I actually diagnosed her with strep throat because the test came back negative. There's no way she's negative. She like the fever won't go away, and she's her breath's streppy. The kids that have strep throat normally have this rancid breath, and her breath isn't rancid, but it's like, all right, you have like 103 fever, you have a really really bad sore throat with like pus pockets on it, but you don't. So, and anyway, so we're at the doctor, and before we were even seen, like the nurse came in and took her temperature or whatever, and then it was 45 minutes from when the nurse left to where the doctor came in. 45 minutes. Now I was thinking about it, right? Because I've actually left appointments
That would send me.
where I was like, I have to go to work because I have to be on the air. And right now, if I don't leave, I'm not going to be on the air. And this is where I made an appointment very comfortably where I should still be able to show up and have like an hour of prep time. And I've just left. And like, I go crazy, but I thought about it. And it's like, if you go to a restaurant and, you know, like it's taken long for dinner, right? Normally what you do is you start looking for your server, and then the server sees the table obviously looking for her, and they realize that it's been a while since they put the order in, and they're going back and checking on it, and it's still not ready. But at least you can look at your server, or you can call them over, you can say, hey, listen, are we coming up soon? And they can be like, yeah, second. So then they go back and they say, yo, hurry it up. But at a doctor, all you do is sit there. There's nothing you can do.
They shut the door on you.
Yeah, what does it matter? They could take an hour and 45 minutes. It doesn't matter. So it was, we were in there for a long time, and I'm getting mad. And then like even my kids, so I have all three of them because my wife's at work. So I have to bring the other two.
So they're getting restless.
Dude, we're in this little like closet almost. You know what I mean? They're getting restless. We've looked at stuff. We looked at more stuff. We looked at pictures. We've done everything. And they're like, Daddy, how much longer? And I'm thinking to myself, so what's the minimum amount of time to where you can start getting pissed? I guess I should have went out and been like, hey, like, is someone coming in here? But the doctor's office is a little different.
No, so this is my thing with like doctor's offices and stuff like that. Like they clearly book things. Like if there's only one doctor, it's like there'll be multiple people booked for the same time. Like,
right.
And like if you can't figure that out just by sitting in the lobby and there's 15 people, it's like, well, how are there 15 people here for appointments if there's only so many like minutes in an hour? It's like, so I don't know. I would be like 15 minutes. I'm done. I'll be like, dude, like, come on. Because you already probably went in 15 minutes late anyway. Then you're sitting back there for another 15 minutes. So now you're at a half an hour. It's like,
no, it was not. It wasn't too long. It was not a long wait today. Normally, they're very good about getting you back in the room. Normally, they're very good about seeing you quickly. But like my diabetes doctors, normally I'm waiting. I'm waiting at least 15 minutes every time. 15 minutes to me is nothing because you can doodle on your phone, or if you have kids, you can videos and like take pictures and blah blah blah. But once you get past that, then you start getting a little bit restless. 15,
if I run out of things to do on my phone, then yeah, I'm pissed.
My wife texted me like, hey, like what happened? And I'm like, I'm still sitting here. And it was 2:36. The appointment was 2:00 and it was 2:36. And I got there. I always make sure I arrive 5-10 minutes early because they'll sometimes put you back early. But we were right in there at 2:00. We were in the room at 2:00. And I was pissed. So it ended up 45 minutes they came in. And I wasn't a dick or anything like that. I was just relieved that they came in so they could freaking, because you know what
put
they're
you
doing.
Out of your misery.
Here's what they're doing. I could be a doctor. If I was trained, I could be a pediatrician doing what they do, which is why you see so many PAs and nurse practitioners doing it right now. They're listening to the breathing. They're looking for an ear infection. They're looking for a sore throat. They're looking for some reason why they have the fever. And if it's not strep and it's not an ear infection, then they tell you it's viral. That's what they do. So if I knew how to look at it into an ear to see whether it was infected or not, and if I had a test strip for strep at home, I wouldn't need to go to the freaking doctor half the time.
Yeah. I don't have a primary doctor because I can't stay in doctor's offices. So
what do you do? Go to
I never
urgent care
unless I'm dying. I don't do anything. I go CVS and get something, and I power through it.
So when was the last time you were seen by a doctor?
For like being sick?
Just in general.
Well, I mean, I had the eye thing, like that was urgent care. So that's what I'm saying. Like for being sick, couldn't even tell you.
When was the last time you saw a doctor when you were not sick?
I tried to get a primary, and I'm like, this dude's a fucking moron. And
So has it been years since you've seen a doctor? All right.
Yeah, half a decade probably.
All right.
Yeah. The one thing was like the way I went to like do like the first like checkup, like or like to get to know you thing. They're like, oh yeah, you got to get lab work done. I'm like, cool. Where do I do that? They're like, oh, you have to make another appointment. I'm like, dude, like this can't be a one-stop shop thing. It's like, nah, you got to go to a lab and this, that, the other thing.
Go to LabCorp, yeah.
And I'm like,
one of them. Yep.
And I forget what the time frame was that I had to do it in, and I didn't do it. And then I get a call saying like that, like they're dropping me. I'm like, okay, like what? I wasn't gonna do all that anyway.
They dropped you?
Yeah,
they got rid of you?
Yeah. It was like, whatever. See you.
All right. Well.
Yeah, no, it's been years since I've actually been in a doctor's office.
Go get your prostate checked.
I got another 8 years for that at least.
I need honestly, I don't, because I had a physical and he didn't mess around. He didn't mess around. And I'm 47 and he didn't give me a prostate check. I guess.
Have you ever had one?
Yes.
The first one at 40?
No, this was when I was younger. That's what I'm saying. I don't know when.
I thought the first one was 40.
Well, I think guidance has changed over the year. So blood tests, I believe now, really are what they look at. They don't need to stick their finger up your ass and touch your prostate and make doctors are like, listen, we're not doing this anymore.
We're just as uncomfortable.
This is barbaric. But I had a colonoscopy. I had hemorrhoids, and like it's never happened to me. And then you kind of get to the age where it's like you're not eating enough fiber, and you can't go because you're like, and I had such bad internal hemorrhoids. I have an internal hemorrhoids, and I had an infection, and it took me a while to go to the doctor because I'm just like, oh, so yeah, I had to go, and then I went on antibiotics and it made it better. But I had these, yeah, like there was a good 6 months where I was in pretty bad shape. They give you these suppositories that you have to stick up your butt yourself, right? But like you need relief, and they'll do it. They did it like at the I don't even think they did it at the doctor's. Like, yeah, I send you this prescription for suppositories.
Christ.
So now I'm Googling like, am I doing something wrong? So I can't get it up there. It's like, well, you got to put it up there. But it's like, yeah, but what does that mean? I'm not comfortable with that. So anyway, once you figure out what to do, and it really, really helped. And then I haven't had a problem since because I'm drinking a lot more water and I'm having more fiber in my diet or whatever. Because that was tough, man. I still have the hemorrhoid pillow upstairs from it.
Do you have a donut?
Yeah, with the thing on the back. I had to. We were driving it was during the summer. We were driving to Dutch Wonderland with the kids, and I could barely walk. I was in so much pain, and it's like, yeah, drive to Dutch Wonderland in July. It's 95 degrees out, and one of our kids actually that day got a fever, and Liz is like, "Well, we're going anyway," and I'm like, "Oh, great, we're gonna go bake in the sun."
This is gonna be fun.
Anyway. So yeah, so I had a colonoscopy. After that, it's like, can I just get checked out? They're like, yeah, that sounds, whatever. That's not a bad idea. So everything was cool. But the last thing before I got a colonoscopy. I scheduled it before football season started because you don't want to miss time during football season. And the guy who was counting down before you went out cold was asking me what I thought about the birds. He's like, so what do you think this year? And I'm like, oh yeah, like I think, yeah, they'll be. And I forget what prediction I was giving him as I was losing consciousness. So that's my story.
He's probably John Marks told me this, and then I was like, so this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As
you're delusional.
As soon as he saw me going in for colonoscopy, it was like he called 592-9494. He was chatting it up. I'm wearing a gown with like a nude underneath the gown. I'm laying on my side, and he's asking me the win-loss record. Literally.
Was this before or after you had your Nick Foles tattoo? Because he's probably after you're passed out, he's like undressing you to like look at your tattoo.
After. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It was definitely after.
He's sitting there taking selfies with your back tattoo.
It was probably that summer after I had it. Yeah, it definitely was because I remember Lena was, definitely awesome. Yeah. So anyway, there you go.
So back to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Back
to the doctor's office. So anyway,
what time to get out of there?
I think I would have waited another 5 minutes and then been like, listen, like what is going on? It's unbelievable. Like, how do you do this?
And they didn't even help you.
No, probably got a wrong test result. This fucking doctor, man. I don't know what's wrong with their strep machine. It's terrible. But anyway, we'll see.
Sounds like you need a new doctor.
I know it's just it's such a pain in the butt. But what are you doing this weekend, Delco Steve?
I got another kids party this weekend. It's
Yeah?
2 weekends in a row for that.
Nah, see, that's not fun if you're a younger guy that has no kids and isn't married.
Yeah, last week's wasn't bad. It was a good time. It was fine. I mean, just sat around drinking, having some beers.
Well, definitely fun.
Some seltzers, I should say. It sucked when it was 96 degrees.
No, I can't get
that was last Saturday.
Huh.
This weekend shouldn't be too bad.
You didn't have to go to an urban air. Like
no urban air. Nah, the backyard parties, both of them.
Yeah, because we have a birthday party on Saturday.
I'll be locked into the NHL draft tomorrow night.
Oh wait, where's your mock? What's the website?
Yeah.
Delco Steve's mockdraft.com. Let me see. Who are the Flyers taking, Delco Steve?
There's a couple options there. We'll see. We'll have a breakdown on Monday of whoever they actually take. If they even make a pick, they might be traded. They could be trading this pick. You never know.
To get a veteran?
Never know.
Oh.
No, they'll probably be making the pick. But there's already been a ton of activity for around the NHL the last couple of days. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Right. Flyers should be active because they're not going to be signing anyone next week during free agency.
Well, I look forward to a recap on Monday. Oh, by the way, for anybody out there, for the one person that may still be watching us right now, Delco Steve, I'm in for Anthony all next week on PHLY.
There we go.
9 to 11, and not July 4th, which is Thursday, but Monday through Wednesday or Friday. It actually reminds me, I better text them to make sure that I'm still doing it next week. So I do arrange for childcare. But anyway, yes. So check me out next week.
There we go.
There you go. All right. Well, enjoy, man. Enjoy your weekend. Everybody enjoy your weekends. And hold on. I got to feed the ducks on the way out. All right. Listen to this. It's going to start to appear in your headphones in a second.
There it is.
Yep. How can Trump and Biden still be awake right now? It's 10:14. This is almost like cruel and unusual punishment.
What time did it start?
9.
Oh, okay.
When was the last time Biden you think was up till 10 o'clock? He must have slept until.
So, all right. Here's my one political question. Do you think there should be an age limit,
yes,
on the cap,
of course,
to be president?
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and I say it to my dad. I say it to my in-laws. Like, I'm not saying that you can't work or you're not sharp, but I don't need you being president at 72 or 74 or whatever. Yeah. Oh, there's a minimum age limit. Why can't an 18-year-old be president?
I just feel like these guys are so out of touch, with what's going on now.
Of course.
It's just I don't know. What's the demographic for age in the United States where these guys fall into percentile wise?
So I think I don't. I don't. That's a good question. I don't see Trump to me mentally is still sharp.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But Biden, it's embarrassing that they're actually doing this. Honestly,
I can't believe there's not 2 other people in this
my
freaking
God.
country that can do better than these 2.
well, of course there are, but it doesn't matter.
Yet who wants the job?
These guys, I guess. There you go. All right, Delco Steve. Later, buddy.
Later. Peace.